Yeah.
There. Here we go. And welcome everyone to this Thursday night at the Mechanics Institute. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director, and joining me is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead for round 2 of the Mechanics Institute Thursday night marathon. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. Thanks, Abel. How are you?
Good. Yeah, doing good. I had a little rough start to the round 2. There were a few players that were not online ready to play because for us to start their games for them, they need to be online on chess.com. So had to wait for some people to get in and had to call up some people. I won't name names, but very prominent players in this tournament and got them in. And games are underway, starting right here on board 1 with Jonah Bush playing white against Grandmaster Gadir Gusenov, who finished second in the U.S. Chess, the U.S. Rapid Championship that they
Wow.
just had. I think it was last week.
Yeah,
And
he's got great instincts and plays all the time. So,
and certainly plays all the time at the Mechanics Institute. And the winner of the U.S. Rapid Championship was Grandmaster Alexander Lenderman.
who's also been
Yeah,
playing all day and all night at the mechanics.
they're basically getting all their reps in at the Mechanics Institute, and then they go off and win big titles.
Right.
so, so what do we think of this game?
I was thinking Jonah Bush has done himself well here. I mean, he has to watch out for B5, but it's his move, and somehow you think White should be able to, if it is White's move, because I don't see the clocks running.
Oh, is that right?
Here we go. Some moves have gone by, all in
Yeah,
a hurry. That
yeah,
was interesting.
yeah. I think something happens where I have to be watching the game live on chess.com, and then on the Twitch stream, it balances out. But I think we're good now.
Yeah, no, I see it. So um, Jonah Bush is still, hanging in there. Black is better positionally. I mean, B5 looks like a good move coming up. Um, but Jonah Bush is, if he can stop that maybe by playing A4 here, might be necessary.
And going on to board 2,
F4 is interesting.
here we have International Master Elliot Winslow playing white against Robert Smith.
This is some kind of Petrov or something.
Petrov, yes.
Yeah. I mean, White has the usual space advantage and easier development. Still, I'm sure this is theory, I would imagine.
In
Not
theory.
that I would know it or anything like that, but
In theory.
yeah, in theory.
And let's check out board 3. This is a new player for me. Kagan Uz playing white against Theo Biasis from a Gioco Piano.
Okay, well, Black's looking nicely placed here. This is, complex.
I don't usually see a Gioco Piano kind of evolve into this. But I don't know my openings very well. But
I can see this is, one of those typical slow pezzes and slow pez. Maybe H4 be an interesting move for White here. I don't know. Black looks like he's well placed. I like Black's position.
And going through the games, the game started at 6:30 p.m., but it's one round game in 60 plus 5, so it actually works to our advantage to start now that games have sort of had a little bit of time to develop. Let's take a look at Mike Walder's game. Let me just find it. He is playing Aaron Nikoski, who is white, and Mike Walder's black.
A typical Mike Walder position, dynamic and unbalanced.
Very Walder-ish.
Yeah, I mean, black's pawns are fractured, but look at the dynamic positioning of the rooks and the superior development. This looks like black is better here, but we'll need to get in some shot like B5 or D5 or D3 or something along those lines.
And sort of one of the big announcements for the Mechanics Institute today is a big scholastic event that we're going to have next Saturday afternoon in partnership with the Thompson Family Foundation, which was founded by Clay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors along with his family. We're partnering with them for an event called Think, Play, Move. It's sort of a blending of our missions. The mechanics, bringing communities together through chess, and then the mission of the Thompson Family Foundation is enriching the lives of youth through sport and fitness, and kind of bringing that together for a all free scholastic event. Every participant will get a nice giveaway item. They're going to get a chess set and board provided by the Thompson Family Foundation. And the first 100 registrants will also get a shirt. So giving away shirts, giving away chess sets. The event is online, completely free. And
Get to play chess.
Paul and Nick doing the commentary. We'll have a lot of special guests.
That's on the 13th?
The 13th. And after that tournament, we're going to have a 1-hour arena where all the kids from that tournament can enter the arena. And in that arena, we'll have some special guests playing. You never know who will turn up. So you got to register to find out. And we'll be streaming that as well. The Golden State Warriors Foundation, they have their own esports division, like esports team of streamers that stream events. And we're going to have a couple of them. They're going to be streaming on their own. And but they're we're all working together. They'll be streaming on their own. Maybe we'll get them on the broadcast just to say hey. But all of us working together in partnership for the kids. It's going to be a phenomenal event. It's limited to 250 players, and Judith has just put the event in the chat. So if you are a Scholastic player of any rating, we expect by far most of them are going to be the typical Scholastic players, but it's open to any Scholastic players. So if you want to sign up fast because seating is limited. And excited about that. So check it out.
Incredible. So this is a sort of, is this going to be part of an ongoing partnership?
No, it's going to be a single event, but I think what'll develop from it is future collaborations.
Of course.
Things like that. Give a special shout out to Seth Tarver of the Thompson Family Foundation. He's been great to communicate with and work with and get this event together. And just really good people. Pleasure to collaborate with them. And got to give props to Judith and I. We've been working hard getting this together because all this really developed in the last week, but definitely over the last couple of days. And then our CEO, Kimberly Scrofano, she's been making moves and letting the board know, approving all the communications, and we got it out into the world now, ready to go. Now just do the work, hold the event, and have some fun. So we're looking forward to that. Saturday, March 13th, starting at 3 p.m. 3 p.m.
Congratulations, Abel.
Thanks. To the Mechanics Institute, nice partnership, and I think a bright future with that one. And here we have Austin Boutier against Christian Clemons.
Christian's playing carefully.
And Austin's an unrated player, but a good player. So
Yeah, this is going sort of. Black needs to complete his development. White has some space. But the pair of bishops being exchanged, rather knights, has eased Black's defenses a little bit.
still a lot of chess.
Still some chess to go.
And moving on, Arthur Liu playing white. He is playing white here against Roger Shi.
White is up a knight.
Yeah, a full knight.
This is good for White.
Black has a couple of pawns for it, but still looking.
Yeah, they're not really doing much. So and White now just took the only open file. So that also plays to White's strengths here.
Look at this game here. This is Tom Mazer is white. National Master Tom Mazer against Rama Cheetah. Rama is playing black.
Oh, Black has sacrificed a piece though, but look at this: 4 pawns and a wide open white king.
No doubt he learned this in the art of attack, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I take full credit here.
Was he in the art of attack?
Actually, this is looking very nice for Black. Always helped by things like, well, if Rook G1, Queen H3 mate, of course that, yeah. This is Knight G4 is coming.
And Tom Mazer is going to need the art of defense right here.
This is tough. It's possible though if you're very resolute and you try to defend, but looks tough.
And we're moving to this game. This is Callaghan McCarty Sneed against Akshaj Pulijala. And Dr. Banner, Cal McCarty Sneed, trying to bounce back from a loss last week. He's a very strong player. Was one of the nation's top scholastic players, and looks like back in the scene. Get his chest on.
Took a break, maybe still a little rusty. This position's kind of not so fine for White here. I think Black has a nice initiative.
But he seems to be using his time here, trying to figure this out.
Well, this would be time well spent right here, I'm sure. Black is in a little bit of a tough spot.
And David Flores got the win already against Tyler Wong, I think it is. David,
¿cómo está?
Yeah, and in David Flores fashion, barely used 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's our man.
What more would we expect?
Right.
And here's an interesting matchup between Kevin Sun and Christopher Nelson.
Okay, so is Kevin one of those people who listens in on the broadcast?
He's not actually.
You got to warn me about that, Abel. Otherwise, I'll start giving out hints. Not that anybody should take.
Yeah. Or maybe you're teaching them that it doesn't pay actually.
Right. Don't listen to me.
or listen to him at your own risk.
Sure. Listen to anybody at your own risk. But knight a3 is a nice looking move, developing and trying to go to knight to b5. So if Black stops that with a6, I don't know. That would be maybe a good move. a6, just stop that knight dead in its tracks there.
And we have
White goes for the f4 break, f3 break, and White's better here.
And a late entry to the Thursday marathon, Adam Mercado playing black against Danny Cow.
Nice looking King's Indian here, at least equal for black. F5 is a nice move to break out over there, set those pawns mobile.
And let's jump back to the top board because
This is good for black for sure.
it looks like Gadir kind of found a way here.
Oh yes.
And let's see if we can find where that was, because things looked.
Well, it's one pawn, or it's two pawns. Yeah, unfortunately.
So it was here, and we arrived at this position.
Yeah, you see how the black rooks are active along the fourth rank and stuff like that, probing weaknesses. Black's waiting to play moves like pawn to b5.
And Gadir did win that game there. But let's go back and take a look, because I think this is an important thing, is how does a grandmaster look at a position that looks, even Jonah Bush is asking in the chat, like, where did he go wrong? Because, I mean, if we're looking at this position, it looks...
F4 looks, sometimes you don't want to play active moves like F4. You might want to play a constraining move like A4 instead. You have to know how to defend these positions or handle these positions, whether to be active or not. That's a big question.
And then here we see there. And
Black has got this move B5 up his sleeve, right?
And then it seemed, and there.
First this, a little bit of forcing moves. White brought this on himself by playing F4, remember?
Right.
And now this, catching White flat-footed after Rook H1. I mean, this was a perfect combination of events for Black. Just absolutely, it couldn't have gone any better. That followed by a tactical stroke that flowed out of the position as well.
Look at that! Yes, because E5 is coming after that.
So just really a model Black game. We've seen Gusenov do this a bunch of times, play these kind of model endgames, winning one positions. That's part of it.
They just know how to just build it up.
They know the moves. They know the strategies. The intricacies involved in these positions that come up over and over and over and again. So
nice win by Gadir Gusenov, and here we're back to looking at Kagan Uz against Theo Biasis.
Black looks good here still, with the G6 is a nice move. King G7 coming up. Still, White would like to trade this annoying queen, but it's not easy to do, is it? And Queen C1 is met by Queen G4, etc.
And here's
tough little position for White.
Elliot Winslow looked like he's picked off a pawn here.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Is Black getting enough here? No, it doesn't look like it. White's getting both rooks on the 7th even.
Yeah.
Knight D5, Rook D7. Minor inconvenience for White, I would suppose. White could even take with the rook at the B7 square, and still that would be good for White as well.
So let's go back to this game that we were looking at earlier with Tom Mazer and Ramachita.
Yeah, Tom's still alive in that game. Wow, congratulations, Tom.
Look at this. It's like...
Oh, okay. So Black played Knight G4 after thinking for a while. Let's find a defense for White here. Queen G2 is met by, well, we're going to find out. It's the obvious move. Stubborn.
And does this sort of Queen H4?
Queen H4, King G1, and then maybe pawn to E5.
Just clear out that bishop and advance
Yeah,
the pawns.
and advance some pawns. Keep the idea of playing D4 or E4. Take it slow.
And Sriram Krishna Kumar is in the chat. Now he took his class, and now he's hanging out at the Mechanics Institute, checking the action.
Cool. Welcome.
Well, let's see.
And please make some comments. Poke some holes in my thinking.
Yeah.
Not that hard to do.
There's nothing Paul wants more than to be corrected on air for his bad commentary.
Yeah, come on. Give me your best shot.
Your best shot. Let's take a look at Mike Walder's game here. He's playing King Smasher, Aaron Nikoski.
Again, black is nice and active. White's still far behind getting an answer to this. Knight D3, then doubles on the 7th rank. White's has trouble getting his pieces out of the box. Knight D3, Rook D2 is strong.
And let's go back and
White's in serious trouble here. Serious trouble now. Pawn down as well.
And back to this game, Austin Boutier against Christian Clemons.
Mike's hardly used any time.
Mike is booked up for the openings. I mean, that's the thing for him. He can save a lot of time just from what he knows.
So I guess black doesn't want to play G5. I mean, Knight G5 wins a piece, but just opens up your own king far too much. I mean, White's got a little bit of everything else being equal, like if Bishop F5, Queen F5, Queen D6 or something like that, or Bishop F8. That looks safe. Bishop F5, Queen F5, Bishop F8.
And actually, the play for Christian Clemons may be to just do that. Just keep it safe and then try to outplay your opponent.
Yeah, but you can give, I mean, like, you don't want to start off from a worse position and try to come claw back. You know, black is still somewhat passively placed here. I'm still giving white the edge.
Let's take a look at this game. I don't think we've looked at this one yet. This is Programming Max. That's Marina Xiao against Catherine Liu.
White's trying to play rook takes f6. That's the threat. White's under pressure here. He's got this kingside attack, but black maybe needs to play something like knight g8. Seriously.
Knight g8.
Knight g8, just like batten down the hatches over there, and then come and take some stuff on the queen side. Take that a3 pawn, but first play knight g8 maybe.
So if rook f6, g takes f6, queen f6 check.
Yeah, and white's got at least a draw, right? Queen g5 and queen f6 check.
I think given the rating difference, white wants to win this game.
Well, white's in the worst situation after knight g8. That's the way it looks to me.
And down a pawn already.
Yeah, down a pawn, and all that white's got is this one, putting all of his eggs in the basket of rook takes f6. But knight g8 has got that perfect defensive quality to it. I'm finding the defensive moves. I guess bishop takes b5, and then queen takes a3, blacks up a pawn.
You're because you're teaching the art of defense, like your mindset is
I had my first aha moment in chess in 40 years.
that's a wow. What is
Yeah, well, no. So there's a situation where Tamanov has this knight at d4 against Karpov. And it's a beautiful knight. That's what it is. It's a nice knight at d4.
yeah.
Couple of moves later, black plays f5 and white takes on f5, and then black plays knight takes f5. And it says now black has, instead of a nice knight, a nice quote knight, has an active knight. And I thought, that's a step up. That active knight is a step up from just having a nice piece. So it's the active knight that's the better piece than the knight just sitting there at d5, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that knight at d5 has got to do something, right?
Right.
And once it becomes active, then you're in, with, look at this, rook takes f6.
Played.
Queen e7, rook f4, g5. But queen e7, rook h4, rook h6. Rook h6, then if g5, rook h7 checks. So queen e7 doesn't work to rook h6. Then black can trade queens, and he's got 2 pawns for a knight, and white's rook is flat-footed out there on h4. Black probably has compensation. That b pawn running down the board, b4. Trade queens and play b4.
And we have the doctor is in. Dr. Judith Starry is in the chat saying, "Hey, how's it going, Judith?"
Black should have played knight g8.
Like you should have played knight g8. So Judith is in.
Hi, Judith.
She's actually playing in the tournament. She played
Nice.
her game. She lost, but she's playing a tough opponent in Yali Danzig Perlman. This is played a game that has ended already. We'll get back to this game, but Theo Biasis got it done. Used a tactical shot right there.
Oh, yeah, there's the pin.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Not only that pin, but we got,
Yeah. White was lost anyway.
Knight h3 coming
That's a
in.
kind of, nice tactic if you can get it. Yeah.
Yep. Right
Nice.
place, right time for Theo Biasis. So, and you were right, Paul. Marina took the draw here by repetition. So they
Yep.
And come join us, Judith. Judith will jump on the broadcast for a little bit.
There's some games that are finishing awful fast, I think, Abel.
They are, and look at even this game with Arthur
It's
Liu.
like people don't have the time for a good think,
Judith's gonna bomb our Zoom meeting pretty soon, so we'll prepare for that.
All this time taken, and somebody's winning and somebody's losing.
There's winners and losers.
b4 check and knight takes g6 check. Black's falling apart.
And
Okay, so can't knight e3. Yeah, okay. Pawn g3 here, rook g5, maybe rook g5. Black has got to be lost. Rook g5 is, black is paralyzed and doomed.
So this is speaking of I don't know about doomed, but not looking good. Mike Walder's got his rooks right in his opponent's face.
Well, white decided to play the knight to e4 instead of d3. This is just another massacre. Wow. Another model game in a way. It's like these players are not playing the scout enough.
Is
It
it
is.
like because Friday's tomorrow? They're already looking forward to Friday, or what is this?
Well, they're not treating it like a marathon, that's for sure. I mean, they're just everybody's running, and running out of steam really too fast. Look at this knight d6. That doesn't do
That's
much.
that's threatening B7 right there. It's a threat.
If I'm white, I just want to give up here. Once the black bishop enters the game here, first of all, I'm sure this is a forced mate involving d3 or bishop h6 or both, or d3 and bishop d4.
And again, look at this time difference here.
This is just game over.
But coming back to this other game, we're trying to see if Ramachita can get it done and have his first victory against a master. I'm imagining it would be his first victory against a master if he can get this done. He just played e5, which is a move you suggested earlier.
And it looks bad, right? Because the queen d5 check.
Is it bad?
But on the other hand, then how can white defend after king h8? Well, the queen can go back to g2.
Well, the problem with oh no, you can't do that. I was going to say the problem with getting queen d5 is maybe white can play the rook to c4, but can't do that yet because of the rook hanging on e1. But
Queen d5, bishop to e6. Queen takes e6 check, king h8. Now white has to deal with queen h2 check, mate.
Can you imagine if you see that? Giving away pieces. And he plays bishop c5. Bishop c5.
Not as easy as you would have thought.
What if you play rook f2?
Bishop takes f2.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right.
Now, Abel, that's a common thing. Seeing a backward diagonal is a very difficult thing to teach.
Hey, I appreciate you giving me an out there for that bonehead hanging of a piece.
It's called it's a blind spot in chess. The backward diagonal.
That would be an interesting class. Common blind spots or something.
Well, I could just put my whole opening repertoire up there and my end game play and my middle game play. And, I keep going to this Paul Whitehead arena that you have, and I'm waiting for the guy to show up, and he just never shows up.
And we're looking, and Lex was saying rook f3 in the previous game.
If you want to go back and look at it, we can take a quick look.
Yeah, here. You're saying rook f3.
I don't think it works, right? You can actually play queen takes f3. Queen h2 check is not mate.
And played.
What? I think black is under some kind of blind spot.
Delusion.
Yeah, well, queen takes f3.
Queen takes f3, queen h2.
And he thinks queen
f1.
h2 check is mate, but white can just play king f1. Now white is threatening queen f8 mate. Blind spots, I mean, every game has them, and I might be experiencing one myself right now. We just have to make educated guesses. That's all it is in chess. And just be as educated as possible.
Edumacation.
Yeah, edumacation.
I mean, I'm trying to see, queen h2, king f1, Like you can't even play Queen H1 check.
No. So, and you're threatened with Queen F8, mate.
Right.
It just gives away a rook for nothing. It's a bad move. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
You're calling it. You're not even.
Yeah.
It was a test. Like it was a test.
This is a test.
This is a test.
Only a test.
That did not work. Yeah, Queen H8. Like you don't even have time to Queen F3 and then play E4. Like you can't even do that.
All right, let's move on here.
It's like you don't even want to see a response. It's like there's nothing to respond to.
I think black is probably. I've been in this situation. What did I just do? And time to move on.
Yeah.
Time to move on.
Yeah, bring that the hook, the umbrella. Take you
Chess requires a certain amount of concentration, and you've got to bring it to the table, or else you're going to get blindsided.
Blind spotted. Mike Walder won his game. Congrats to Mike. So Danny Cow here against Adam Mercado. Mercado
Adam is ready to play pawn to e4, and white is in serious trouble. This is sort of the logical extension of what we were looking at before. It looks like white could almost resign here. Pawn e4 is so powerful, and there's no way to stop it.
And checking on Callaghan, McCarty Sneed. How has he defended here?
Oh. Well,
White's looking all right. Yeah.
White has done very well, and now being able to play rook e6, even though black has this sort of a pass pawn here on the, I mean, it's a complex position. I think black has to play bishop e5 here, or there's going to be some serious issues with rook e6.
There's going to be some heck to pay. And Judith.
Very unclear. Hi, Judith.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. We thought we were following a grand moment in Ramachita's chess playing career.
And
having his first victory against a master, and then it turned around in one move. We think. Let me go back to that game because there have been moves played after that. And that is the current position.
Earlier that he had a good attacking position.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
inspired by the art of attack class, right?
That's right. That's right. But it looks like he may be trying to employ some art of defense all of a sudden here. What do you think, Paul? Did anything come of it, or?
He's trying to play bishop h3 check. So white has queen g2 or queen f2 or maybe rook e2. If bishop h3, king e1 doesn't look, that looks like a strong move. Rook e2 maybe.
Judith, how did your game go?
Bad.
Yeah, I think rook e2 finishes it.
Yeah, it seems that he actually had quite the advantage, and then
it was one move.
I have to go through the analysis, of course. You guys are much better than me, but yeah, it seems that yeah.
I think white is winning here after rook e2.
Yeah, it was one move. It was after rook f3 that everything seemed to change.
Yeah, rook f3 is the bad move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, no fair. You guys are looking at the chess.com
I know it's not
analysis.
Fair. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Without that, I wouldn't know what to.
But in this case, it was actually helpful because there was no even in the chat, someone was suggesting of rook f3, and just by looking at it real quick, it looks like if we peel the queen away, we can deliver that check. But there was actually nothing there.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't still keep trying to think for ourselves.
Yeah.
Paul's an old school classic thinker here. Speaking of old school, look at this position. This is typical Christian Clemons right here. Just bunching everything up and trying to make his opponent figure this out. Judith, how are we doing with the think, move, play?
Oh my God, we are getting registrations by the minute almost. So I actually wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
I remember when I set up the registration link on Jambula,
Yeah.
and that has the foundation name incorrectly. I don't think it's a big deal, but at this point, if I change it, then the whole registration link changes, right? So I might change it overnight and update it on the website, and then I will just have to send out another blast.
Yeah, we'd have to update it on the Facebook too, though, right?
Yeah. So we'll just have to do another Facebook post.
I guess we'll have to do another Facebook post.
Not edit, not so yeah. So but otherwise it's going good. Like I can look up how many we got, and when did we open up? Like 2 hours ago.
It was like 5:30 or something like that.
Yeah, and we have 17, so that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So this event is next Saturday, March 13th. Registration is capped at 250, and we think we'll get there. So if you have a Scholastic player in mind, it's non-rated. 5 rounds of non-rated chess. Have a lot of fun, but we're gonna have a 1-hour arena after the tournament with some special guests in the mix in the arena. But both the tournament and the arena, we're going to be covering it right here on our Twitch channel. And we're going to have guests in the commentary. It's going to be a great, fun day of chess. I cannot wait.
And the tournament itself, it's not about, okay, who's the winner? Do we need a solvitor? So if 250 kids all go into one section, or even if we split it up to 2, 5 rounds will not produce us a clear winner, but that's not the goal here. The goal here is to come together, have fun, play chess, get to know each other, and just as a community enjoy chess and really promote the mission of the 2 organizations, Mechanics Institute and Thompson Family Foundation. Think, play chess, use your creative thinking and your physical activity, fitness to create that mental health that's so much
needed right now, especially. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, we can't say whether
a certain someone will be there.
Yeah, but we're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have some guests.
And the fun thing is we're gonna have some big name esport Twitcher broadcaster. I'm actually very much looking forward to that, to kind of follow their Twitch.
I saw their
ours with them.
They did a chess one that I took a look at. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very fun, and I think it contributes to the popularity of chess as well. So.
And what is their Twitch channel?
We have to look because they have team members that stream on their own channel, so it's like they have their own individual channels, but they're part of a team. One person's part of a team, another person's like a guest,
and they are playing in these popular esports and computer games like Legend of Leagues. It's a very popular game nowadays. Don't ask me what it is. I've never played.
Legends.
But League of Legends. Yeah, Legend of League of whatever. Right. Potato.
Never played it, but I know it's a big thing. But
yeah.
Or Alexei Root or League of Legends.
Yeah, exactly. So
who knows? Maybe we'll start streaming League of Legends. You, Paul, and I will all be playing League of Legends. Mechanics Institute team. Get Paul
I'll
Triton.
have,
How
I'll
was
have
your
to look
first?
look it up and see what it is.
So
This
Paul,
is
how was
this
your
is a
first?
funny position.
Which one are you guys watching?
This is Jacob Chess,
Oh
857.
yeah,
Jacob
right,
Wang and Michael
Michael.
Xiao. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
why
think Black
is not using his time?
Black might have
No.
missed just a really funny move there. Rook F3 and White's just paralyzed. This might be very strong too. White has kind of put himself in the crossfire here.
Yeah, because with Rook F3, the knight can't move, the rook can't move.
Maybe F4, some radical move like that, giving up a pawn.
League of Legends.
And downtown San Francisco, everyone.
Yeah, it's alive
Yeah,
and
the
well.
sirens.
The San Francisco Sirens. If you're at the Mechanics Institute chess room on a Tuesday night, you're hearing the pigeons outside making their noises.
Hi, Alexi.
Hey, Alexi. Thanks for stopping by. And Mike Walder's in the chat saying his game was all prep until move 18.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Crazy.
And you know what? This is actually a very interesting line of conversation, maybe potentially, is fair play and the preparation and how can I was discussing it with someone else, how a human organizer, how can we humanly incorporate some of the information that the player can tell us? Because if Ken's analysis, for example, it cuts off the opening few moves, right? And then after a position is really dominant, then it doesn't take into account the moves after a certain lead, like +4, +5. So it's really just the middle, right? So if the game is very short, if the opponent walks into a preparation line, right? And let's say Mike Walder's case, right? 18 moves of preparation. Ken's analysis cuts off the first 5, 6, 7, whatever, right? And then by the 16th, 17th move, Mike is up, let's say, +5. Ken's analysis will come back very, very strong, right? So but then a player can actually show us that I actually prepared for this, right? The preparations, the human preparations for a game, that's actually documentable, right?
Because
yep.
No, go ahead.
No, either you can show the paper or this or the chess-based files or something that you actually prepared, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy though, to think that you would have to do that to prove
the depth, but the depth of what you can tell in terms of the data is like extraordinary. And I know Judith has gone deep into it.
And these are circumstances where I would not be surprised if Ken's analysis would, if that's true, that 18 moves, I don't know how long was your game, Mike, we can see, but I would not be surprised if it would flag that game, right? But then that's when you actually go back and try the human element of talking with the player and having it explained and everything. So yeah, so we'll see. It was an interesting story. It actually came up with someone else, an international player, and so
someone's in the chat imploring Mike not to prep for him if they ever play.
I don't think.
I think it's in his blood to prep. I mean,
especially Mike's.
Yeah, actually, just players in general. I mean, they look to prep. I mean, they really count on it.
Yeah.
And Arthur Liu won his game.
Yeah.
In a dominant ending way.
There you go.
Very nice.
And Mike points the way. He says, haha, don't play your normal stuff. Right.
See, I can't even, if I was to play Mike, I can't even play the Alakine and think that, hey, I'm going to throw you off because, like, he knows it like
That's your normal stuff.
100 times better than me already.
Yeah. So, Paul, how was your class yesterday?
It went very well. They want me to contribute something in between classes like puzzles, but I'm not sure that I have the ability to do that. So we'll see what happens.
People can ask, right? And just
yeah.
Hey, and Jonah Bush is in the chat. He was saying counterpoint to Mike. His game against Gusenov was prep until late in the game, but Paul and I were talking about that, and Paul was looking at it. And if you go back and watch the broadcast after, I think Paul nails where it went wrong. And I thought it was interesting because it sort of shows how grandmasters are able to take, one thing and then turn it into something bigger. And Gusenov, of all players, is really good at that. I mean, he did it to Tarjan, right? I mean, in the final round of the Tuesday night marathon.
But honestly, Jonah, you have no idea how good it feels to be able to know that you're looking forward to this game. You spend time to prepare for this game, right? And just to be able to offer this tournament. So it's really these feedbacks that you prepare your game. I mean, that's I think that's a lot of.
And Paul,
I think I thought F4 that you maybe should have tried to restrain him by playing pawn A4 rather than playing active with F4. And there was probably points, I didn't see the whole game, maybe points earlier where those kind of positions need a certain kind of approach. And I'm not sure that sometimes it changes move to move, but you have to be careful.
And then when he was able to get B5 in, it was just made it tough for you.
Yeah, there was B5 was always lurking. So, to try to nip that, to try to sort of not leave it hanging there for as long as it did. As long as it was there, it was just going to keep bugging you.
And thanks, Judith, for I saw you were putting in the match links.
Well, sometimes A4 is not the right move, and sometimes it is. I just think you wanted to, like this B5 thing that he kept was just hanging there for so long. Somehow I didn't want my rooks passively defending the knight on C3 like that. White needed some kind of active approach right there, but not the F4 active approach. Maybe a more preventative approach and not the active approach that you played with F4, which just was impatient and allowed black to kind of soften you up a little bit, isolate the H pawn. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, what does the Endgame Lab think of this game here?
Well, black's got this pawn on F4 that's threatening to sort of go in now with pawn F3 and rook G1 check.
Is there any way
to stop that? Right now it's on for white to try to stop this. King D1.
I mean, white was up a pawn and just like something got away here. It had to have been this move.
It's this
rook H6.
It's this strong this strong pawn here. Maybe rook A6 was better, but it still looks like the same issue after rook takes G2.
Because I think white is starting to realize now it can't take H5.
Yeah, rook H6 was not the move, but I don't think. But rook A6 might not have been any better. Let's put it that way.
And Judith, we got some exciting stuff happening tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What's going on tomorrow night?
We got the kids on the stream.
Yes. So we're gonna have a Blitz Championship with Blitz tournament tomorrow for the kids on chess.com. So that's a little bit new for them. So first time it might be a little bit less attendance, but we'll see. And we're gonna have a special guest on the Twitch. It's Alison Wong.
Oh,
Alison,
nice. She's going to be doing the commentary.
Yeah.
yeah, she's gonna hopefully
Fantastic.
will be warming up to the Twitch. She's interested in how it goes and how it. So I think it's good, and she's a strong player. She's around 1600 at least. I don't know
I think she's like 1800.
Oh, she'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I still have to recruit a few more players because I don't think it's in the mindset of the players. We have a lot of stuff happening, so I don't blame them. There's a lot of information out there for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and there's a lot going on. So like whatever it is, that we get, it's gonna be fun. And typical for Scholastic, we get a lot of registrations the morning of. 2 hours before the event.
yeah.
3 hours before the event. So we do think people will pile in at the last minute, but we're gonna have a good time. The kids will get a center stage and be on the broadcast, their games anyway, and we'll cover it and have fun doing it. And then we got
What time does it all start?
at 6:30 p.m. and then we got a big match on Saturday with Edinburgh.
Yeah, that starts at 11 a.m. So that's 7 p.m. their time. And that's a gaming 10+2 match. So when players are joining the match at 11 a.m., the system pairs them up by rating. So the top rated is paired against the other top rated from the other club, and they play 2 games back and forth, black and white. They don't have to wait for everyone else to finish their games. So as soon as their first game is finished, the system automatically starts the second game. It's chess.com is a very nice platform for club matches. It's really enjoyable, easy to follow, and the total score is nicely displayed. So I'm actually very much enjoying that format. I'll try to join you guys if I can. I have to see what's my schedule for Saturday.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Not related. Here we are in this game. Paul has Rama found something that can.
Oh yeah, Black is pouring it on here.
And we're reading in the chat. Some very unfortunate things have befallen Mike Walder. Is that true? Car got ripped off. That's crazy.
It happens.
Man, I remember.
Sorry about that, Michael.
That was tough. I remember when we had the Mechanics Rapid Championship. One of the Pro Chess League teams that were playing the semifinals had their car. I don't think it was stolen, but they had their items stolen. That
right.
Were
yeah, I mean that's really unfortunate. Thieves are on the lookout for stuff like that.
Oh my God, Mike, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, man.
And Michael's right in a sense that hey, it's just stuff.
It happened to me one time. That feeling when you get out and you're walking to your car and there's nowhere. It's
And you know it should be there.
And you know it should be there and it's not there, and I still remember the feeling, and it was 14 years ago. Yeah.
I remember I went into this was only like a couple of years ago. I went to the local Walgreens. I literally went in to get milk. Paid for the milk, no more than 5 minutes. I came back, the window was broken, and they had like rummaged through like the papers like in the car. Like I didn't actually have anything of value in there, but it's like, yeah, they literally saw me get out of the car, walk in the store, and then just went for it, like right there. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it can happen.
So here we are back to the chess. Actually, I want to take a look at Callaghan McCarty Sneed's game.
Yeah, he's taking his time, so that's always good that players are thinking about their moves.
Yeah.
Black, White has dodged a bullet. I mean,
Right.
it's still
Right.
difficult, though.
It looked a little bleak a moment ago, but
I think, yeah, Black could have gone the other way and played Rook takes B2, but he's trying to eliminate the pawn and defend the. I mean, Rook E5 actually is an interesting looking move, and maybe good.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's trying to do too many things.
and
Just Rook takes B2 would have been good, I think.
Elliot Winslow is still trying to finish this game. Elliot was not on the game when I was trying to start it, and then I had to call him up, and he was making a pizza, and he had completely forgotten that it was the Thursday night marathon.
And to his help or not protect. What's the phrase? I'm so tired. I can't even. That's my guitarist. I'm sorry. So to his defense, yeah.
Yes.
To his defense, he did sub a very hard class today.
Elliot did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we had our West Portal class, which is 2 groups of kids. I think he did take the higher rated ones, well, the returners, but it's still not an easy class. They are very high energy kids, and so
good for Elliot.
Yeah, good job. He's doing a really good job. Colin is out for a week, and he subbed some challenging classes. So, and
I have no doubt that.
Yeah, he's good, and he what I like. He went on to class on Tuesday.
That's why.
And he got like 10, 12 kids, right? This is the free youth outreach. Kids are good, and then and he just went with the flow, and whether he started explaining titles, chess titles, then opening principles and mates and everything, like he made it really interesting. So,
and the funny thing is, I mean, I was curious about this question, and so was Alexi. I was thinking, like, how could he not know he was playing when Mike Walder's there? But apparently Elliot's dog sitting, so he's not there at the house. So
maybe they live in different worlds.
True, even if they were there.
I guess good for both of them. A little separation, it never hurts.
No,
right?
No, not at all. And then who doesn't like to play with a dog? So
it's great you guys still like to play chess so much. I think that's the real wonderful thing.
Yeah. It's in the blood, apparently.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Look at this. Back in this game with Rama, is there any hope here?
Tom Mazer was getting his king chased all over. Now, this might be a case, yeah, well, king T3, king B5, queen D3 check, king C6, rook F6. So that's it. And if king A4, queen A6 check, knight A5, queen takes A5 mate.
You're seeing a lot more than I do.
So if king D5, queen takes B3 check.
Right.
If king B5, then queen to D3 check. Yeah. White has 2 moves.
And then A4.
Well, actually, you could play rook C4. Wow, rook C4, then A6, then B5 check. B5 check. Yeah, B5 check.
Wow, this.
And I was like watching the position on that game, and I thought that's where they have said, "What kings are right?" But now I see.
I think White's lost here. King B5, queen D3 check, king A4, queen A6 check, knight A5, queen takes A5 mate. Or pawn to b5 mate. No, it wouldn't be mate.
Mike saying a6 check if king b5.
King b5, queen d3, king a4, queen a6. Oh yeah, knight a5, queen a5, king b3.
And Tom is thinking of it.
Yeah, well, rook f. Wait a minute. King b5. If king b5, a6 check, what about king takes a6? That doesn't do anything. It just allows the white king to run away even further. See, Mike, we're getting you out of your prep here.
Right. It's the middle game here. You can't just like, go 20 moves deep just like that.
Yeah.
Hey, and I have to ask, and then Mike Walder's like, who's Wile Odysseus 89, right?
By the way.
He's like, hey, let me send you a message. Hey, let me that. He's like, okay, who are you?
So king b5, queen d3, king a4. If b5, king a5. So queen a6, knight a5. And that is an amazing defense.
And here we go.
King b5, yep.
Here we go.
That is, white has an amazing defense here. I still not finding a win after queen g3 check, king a4.
King a4.
A6 is not working, king a6. But queen d3 check, king a4. Then black
King a5, yeah.
is threatened with mate himself. And queen a6 check is met by knight a5.
And
then if queen takes a5 check, king to b3. But then rook to f3 check. We're going to see this happen, I think.
Yeah.
Rook c4, then a6 check. That white would lose. King takes b6, queen c4, and if queen e8 check, queen g8, the black queen goes back and defends.
And it's Theo Biasis, Wile Odysseus.
that's funny.
Okay, yeah, you can email him. Yeah, you can email him.
Allow it.
Very cool.
And Carl, Drew, Akshay, and also Adam converted, winning over Danny. So.
What a great position here. B5, king a5, queen d8 check.
Right, I was just looking at that.
And then if king a6, rook f6 wins the queen.
Oh, look at that.
What?
You're going to see it.
Well, no, I did see this. I've been pointing this out. Oh, b5 check wins the queen.
Wins the queen.
Nice.
We didn't see that.
Yeah. Sometimes, very nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Wow.
b5 check and undercovers the queen. Very good.
What a shot.
Nice. Rama. Very
Rama,
nice.
Wow.
What a
Okay, guys, this was because he attended.
Black deserved to win that game, I think. Yeah.
You take full
Nice
full
attack.
credit, right? You have full credit for his win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
No,
Ni-
I'm just
Nice
good.
win by Ramachita there. Nice little tactical shot to close the show.
Yeah. Very nice. Black deserved to win that game. He was on the attack for the last third. Speaking of which, I found this great game by in the Chess Cafe, which everybody should come and check it out. We've got a member of the Marshall now, an old
Sal?
Sal Matera.
Yeah.
He's part of the Marshall I think he's on the board or is
Yes.
connected to the marshal in a
Yep.
big way.
He's in the board.
And he's now been hanging out at the mechanics in a way, and often on chess cafe. And anyway, we were talking about Bogulyubov and in a nice attacking game. And next week, we're going to look at some of Sal's positions. So
nice.
Join us on Chess Cafe.
Good.
And here's Kevin's son putting the attack on over here.
Yeah, White's doing very nicely here. Black is 2 pawns down and in serious trouble now with these mobile pawns. Just don't let them become blockaded. And now looks like that knight at a3 needs to be brought around first before White does anything with the king side over there. Just take it slow and bring that knight around. No reason to get impatient here. Although you're threatened with king g8. Look at that. Well, bishop c2 takes care of it.
And then checking in on Austin Boutier against Christian Clemons here.
And I'm assuming it's Black's move. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
King f1.
Just going to trade up.
I'm not seeing anything directly winning for Black after King f1.
Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna leave. I have to admit, I haven't been that active today in terms of my physical activity, so I'm gonna get in a few steps.
Get that
Take it
walk in.
easy,
Get that walk in. No,
Sure.
thanks for hanging out. And
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll listen in and chat with you guys on my phone, and then tomorrow I'll come and tune in at 6:30. We're gonna have the blitz, and then Saturday we have the club match. The club match is open for anyone. The blitz is a scholastic blitz, so you have to be K through 12. So. Okay.
Which we no longer are. Enjoy the walk, and then
Get some exercise.
And thanks for stopping by.
Of course. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye, Judith.
Judith Starre, TD
Star
and
of the
organizer extraordinaire. So very cool. Stopping by and hanging out. We got about 5 games left. 5 games left. Let's take a look at Zenwabi. This is Jeff Anderson. Against Nicholas Reed.
So Black wants to take back on d5. Black's got like one extra move. He's got this pawn hanging at this white pawn hanging at a2, and Black is going to need it after figuring out how to recapture on d5. So, you know, the tempo that White takes to prevent that loss of that pawn, can Black do anything with it? But it's Black's move, and Black's under pressure here. Bishop c4 looks awfully strong for White here. Just a simple move like that. Black could maybe play rook a5, but then White can just keep trading on d5. Strong knight versus bad bishop. I like bishop c4.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure there on e6 and then knight d5.
Yeah, well, the main thing is just the positional threat of exchanging that bishop for that knight is just so strong for Black. Black's in trouble.
And let's look at this game here. This is the Dark Bishop. I like that name, the Dark Bishop. That's Patrick Donnelly playing Charvi Atreya.
Is this the second game that we've seen with the white knight on A1? How bizarre. I mean, okay, why didn't black, okay, this rook c8 mate is the reason why black didn't start chopping on b3. Okay, threat is knight to e2 check, and that's annoying. That's quite annoying. But bishop d1 might be the move that white wants to play anyway, to start to play knight b3 and knight c5 or something. What is with the knight on a1 in these games? Or is this the same game?
And it just got played too. Right? Yeah, it was here, and it was played there to defend the bishop.
Yeah.
And that was the nature.
Well, I mean, it's just, you don't usually play the move knight to a1. So whenever it's played, you sort of take notice.
Arthur Liu is rating us. Thank you, Arthur. And if you're just joining us, this is round 2 of the Thursday night marathon at the Mechanics Institute. Thank you for the raid, Arthur Liu, who won his game today, so he is 2-0. So it looks like he will have...
So he's streaming.
Yeah. Yeah. He's streaming, and he's got a big game next week. He could be playing Gadir, so we'll see.
So black has a nice position, but what's he doing? Okay, so knight d3, more activity. Still, if I'm black, I want to play g6 so badly, or h6, and give my king a breathing square, or otherwise I'm just going to forget about rook to c8 mate at some point.
And look at this game. Kevin's son is looking to put the pressure on here. He doesn't even need that knight that's sitting on a3.
So what happened in the Gadir? Remind me of the Gadir game. Yeah, white's just putting on the Ritz here. I mean, once that knight gets back in the game, it's going to be even worse than it is now. Tough position for black. Really tough.
And Kevin's also got the time, so...
Yeah.
Back to this game.
Nice game by white. I mean, he's converting a material advantage like he's supposed to do it. I don't know what black is thinking. Okay, that's a heck of a move. Rook takes g3, bishop takes g3, queen takes g3, and white's got 2 pieces for a rook, but this is so clumsily done somehow. Just doesn't seem to make much sense. Although it looks like a good move, bishop c4. Rook d3, bishop d3, queen d3, and white's going to have trouble extricating his pieces over there.
And
so that's the issue. So still some pressure here, although I'm not sure all the moves are making sense to me.
And Christian Clemons is black here against Austin Boutier. And thank you, Arthur Liu, for the support and for the raid. And thanks for playing at the Mechanics Institute. And for helping tournament direct our events. Arthur's he has come to Mechanics to direct events on his own, and more recently he's been helping us out on some of our bigger events as a tournament director. He was part of the Pan Am and the Amateur West, and yeah, nice to have him both as a player and as a TD. So who's better here, the bishop or the knight?
I mean, 1 minute it looks like the knight's better. The next minute it looks like the bishop was better. The knight needs a good square. The queen needs to get. I guess I'd rather have black here, of course, but still, let's see what happens.
And Elliot Winslow is still trying to close the show slowly but surely.
Yeah, let's see that game. International master Elliot Winslow.
For some reason, I would have thought this should have been over a lot sooner, but
Well, black is trying to maximize. Yeah, I mean white should slowly but surely be able to win this. Rook, it looks like he could have played rook b4 instead of king to d3. Like, why not play rook to b4?
but from Elliot's perspective, he can, he can wait it out. Right?
He can make all kinds of moves and wait for black. Even f4 here is probably a good move for white. I don't think it's necessary to keep these pawns mobile.
And look at the complexities here.
Pawns ahead.
This looks like some composition of a maiden, maiden 3 or win material or something. A lot going on here.
White just played king g1. I mean, this doesn't look good. Queen b4 now.
And Patrick Donnelly was 7 minutes on his clock. He's going to need to watch the time there.
Some weird, this moves that I'm not fully understanding going on here, but that's normal.
of you not understanding what's going on, or?
I mean, queen b4 looks like it almost wins on the spot, right? Threatens the rook. If rook takes d3, bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and then
and maybe black's just trying to make sure that queen b4 looks as solid as it appears.
Queen b4, rook d3, bishop d3, queen d3, queen a5. I mean, black is better in that position because white's pieces are completely tied up on the queen side.
Because it almost doesn't feel right to put the queen on b4 where there's a rook behind the bishop, but
it attacks the rook, right?
It attacks the rook, exactly.
And it attacks the a5 pawn. Also, that bishop is pinned, so. Rook takes d3, bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and now black doesn't seem to have any winning shot that I can see, so maybe just queen takes a5, protects the pawn, wins the pawn and protects the pawn on a6, and then black has a rook and 2 pawns for a knight and a bishop. I think black is better. Black is definitely better in that position.
And let's check on Nicholas Reed.
It's not winning.
Nicholas Reed against Jeff Anderson.
Wow, black is doing what's probably required, which is passive defense here. And rook a4 is a nice little opportunistic move. I like it. It hits the bishop. That bishop at c4 is so strong. I can imagine almost if that bishop at c8 could get out, like to d7 and c6, black could really get something going here. But it's a lot of work to be done. Black almost is getting the initiative here. Rook c1, h6.
And,
I don't know. Then bishop b3, and knight f3 threatens bishop b3.
And we usually tell players, that are beginning, you
Not
don't want to activate your rooks in this manner, but this seems to work. And look at this move here. Bishop e6 has been played.
Well, yeah, there's just the fact that white can grab a pawn there as well. So everything comes off, and then black plays rook d4, and white plays rook b6, and white's a pawn up in a rook and pawn ending.
Yeah, it looks like stuff's gonna get traded
And
down.
yeah. White's a pawn up in a rook and pawn ending, with maybe a winning position.
And far better rook, right?
Yeah, rook e6, rook e6, rook e6, rook d4, rook b6, rook d7. White is close. Black is in a tough position there, with the rook having to passively defend on the second line like that.
So is white on the precipice?
And then white can maneuver the king in onto the king side, helped by that weak f5 move. I think that might be winning for white.
Let's check on Christian Clemons' game here.
Winning rook and pawn ending for white, I think. Black gets the queen on the wonderful diagonal, but still has to work all of his pieces around to create more of a, just flushing the white king out to e2 isn't really accomplishing that much. Unless you can follow it up with like queen b1 or something, but then white's queen gets in. This game is like in some kind of balance. Black maybe should play g6, and then white can play knight e5.
And I'm
or even play king f2, maybe. And just come on out voluntarily.
And I'm wondering if Christian Clemons' training that he gets in the arenas with the very, very short time control will benefit him here, because he is at 6.5 minutes left. And it seems like there's still a lot of chess to play. He's going to need all his time.
I think it takes it takes a certain discipline to adjust to the time controls.
Well, especially when you're used to, the traditional TNM where it's 2 hours each.
I'm going to say one thing. Unless you're a professional that is playing all the time and is in the groove, so to speak, then a 30-minute game looks like a 15-minute game and looks like a 10-minute game, and sometimes even looks like a 3-minute game. They're just playing the moves. They're making the logical, wise decisions, mixing it up when they think they have to and playing it safe when they think they have to, and so on and so forth.
This crazy tension here in this game.
Well, this is very unfortunate, I think, for white here, who's gotten himself completely tied down, and there's no way out. Bishop takes c4. Yeah. All right.
D1.
I think rook a5 is a convincing move here.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Just, white can take twice on d3, but then he loses the knight on a1.
But Donnelly at 2 minutes 40 seconds.
Black is rook takes b3 is probably a win too now here as well. It's a slower win. I would just play rook a5 because white can't take on d3. But I think rook takes b3 is a win too.
The bishop takes.
That is, I didn't even think of that because the other alternatives were so good. Now white can play rook on 1 takes d3, and black is kind of in this. White's back in this. Bishop c4 is good. All right, yeah, it's true. This is still
now rook b1 or what? Oh yeah, it takes there.
It's still bad.
Yeah.
Maybe rook a3, but it still would have been bad.
Now black may line up on the second rank, right?
This is just lost. White's 2 pawns down. Finally gets his knight out. I think the
Oh.
other ways would have been quicker.
Hold on.
This is still.
Judith.
White can play knight a3, maybe survive for a move.
There we go. Thank you, Judith. Forgot. Still had Judith's name hanging around over there. Shorten this up. There we go. All right. So is there anything wrong with rook a2 here?
It's a really good move, Abel.
Okay, I found one.
It really is. It's the winning. It's the simplest
Oh
win.
my gosh, played. So he ends up playing rook a4, but he's got 1:30 left.
I mean, the thing is, you start playing kind of like, well, I don't know what I'm doing and not really sure of how things should go. And you let your opponent sort of stay in the game. And before you know it, something horrible happens, like you lose on time or something like that. So technique is such an important part of the game, And I've said it in my chess column in the newsletter, but I'll say it again. I never get tired of watching strong players win games. Watching how a game is won is part of the technique of chess, and needs more.
You have to close the show, right?
Closing the show. Here we can see, even though black is winning and white is lost, we can see that black is just allowing white a little bit more,
You just hung a pawn right there.
Yeah, well, that's not good. Well, white collapses.
Yeah. And back to the Jeff Anderson, Nicholas Reed game here.
And what I said had transpired. Black took the second line defense, and white still has to convert this. Tough little game. Wow.
Yeah, still game to go.
This is a really interesting end game, I think. If black could eliminate the pawns on the king side, it would be a draw. So I think white has to try to exchange a pair of pawns on the king side and create a weakness over there.
And Elliot's still playing chess over there.
Michael Walder, the Zen master. My barn having burned down, I can now see the sun.
There it is, man. That's
only at the Mechanics Institute.
That is glass half full.
Only at the Mechanics Institute are you going to get this kind of
such
eloquence,
such literary wisdom.
Elliot's got it here. King f5, rook f7 check, and mate next move. So that's it. Black has to give up the rook with rook takes g5, and that's, of course, hopeless. So Elliot will have closed the show.
And Judith's asking in the chat, whose dog is Elliot dog sitting? The games are winding down here, and players need to watch their time.
This game still looks, white's knight is in a little bit of trouble here, or could be, if it can't get out to e5 quick enough.
Both Elliot and Kevin Sun have won their games.
Queen d6, knight e5, c5. I think white's getting into a little bit of trouble here. Maybe. Knight to e5, c5. I guess white has a number of moves there.
Three games left. And white is looking to trade off.
That's an interesting Steve Brandywine story. This is going to be good for black.
Good for black. Why?
Well, okay, wow, white takes this way. This is really interesting. There's now a barrier for the black king over to the king over into the middle of the board.
It's gonna have to play like g5.
That's really an interesting position here. Bishop d8 and f6 leaves its own problems. Will white be able to play e6 or not? And
it looks like Patrick Donnelly is going to win his game against Charvi Atreya, just so...
White should play g4 here because then the black king can be locked out.
And then Austin is using his time here.
Although black could come around with king h6, king g5. I don't know. Yeah, I think white should play g4. This is a tough little position. Not easy to see exactly what's going on. Black can try bishop d8 and f6, but that's interesting.
And then here's this position with Jeff Anderson and Nicholas Reed.
White has also got knight b8 now. I think white might be close to winning here after king e4. Okay, is black losing the... It looks like black is losing the h pawn because the white king can go in front of the f pawn.
Yep.
If black gets the b pawn, I think this f pawn is too strong now. Although it's going to be close.
And back to, this is the game to watch right here.
White's definitely in the... Yeah, knight b8. This is a problem for black. White taking on e5 was a master stroke. All right, so white decides, yeah, now is a4 the move or knight a7? Probably knight a7 because the pawn at b6 then is weak and can be targeted. Well, or this way. This might be better, keeping it a little bit more complicated. Yeah, and the pawn can still be targeted. Black is in trouble. c4 and knight b8, followed by knight b8, fixing the pawns. And then knight goes back to g7, you play king g5. Now black has got to try to break out here somehow.
It's going to have to be a like f6 or something, or what?
It looks like it's too late. f6, e6.
Or f5.
King g5.
Yeah, actually.
Or even taking on f6. Yeah, I would play king g5. And black has... But it's going to be tough.
And time is slipping here. Minutes left.
This is really something with this Clay Thompson Foundation stuff.
Yeah, in order to make schedules work, it had to be next Saturday, and we think we can do it, and hopefully we get all.
Not next Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Yeah, not this coming Saturday, the following.
Right.
March 13th. So and it's his foundation, like his whole family is a part of it. So they do a lot of good things in the community related to supporting kids and kids in sports, and they're a believer in kids in chess. And look at this here.
I think Black. Are we still looking at the Clemons game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that White should have thought about twice, maybe taking on F6, but the players have no time to think now. And now Black can play G5 and hope for a miracle here, but White should be winning this now.
Oli is back. He says hello to Paul.
Hello.
Gonzalo.
White should just take on G4 without even thinking, although there is a possibility Black will play H4. It's horrible to think about these.
I know. You play H4, and then you can do F3 or H3.
Right, and H3. Does it work? Does it not work? You know, you have to, it'd be nice to have a lot of time to figure this out.
Because isn't like G3 a possible move?
Well, F3 is a threat now. You got to take. Black could have played maybe H4, but the threat is F3. But now Knight D5 check seems to probably work.
Scary stuff with minutes.
And now King C6. Black could even play King D4 maybe. No, then King B6, King C4. Knight F4, that's not good. That's loss for Black. I think White is winning King C6. Well, now F3 doesn't see, takes G3, Knight E3 wins for White, even if you play. Well, no, I think Black can chase the knight around and draw.
Okay, so now that move takes away Knight E3 with King E4.
Oh, yeah. Well, now Knight F6 check. Well, Knight G4, King G4.
Oh, Alexi's saying Knight F4 for White.
Well, then King F4, King B6, King G3, C5, King G2, C6, King F2, C7. Yeah, that wins by 2 tempo. Yeah.
And it's
Knight F4 wins the pawn race without any problem.
And done.
Yeah. Not seeing what was right in front of my face there. Nice going, Alexei. And it's a G pawn, says Elliot. Elliot, good to see you. Good to not see you. No, it's good to see you, but also I can't see you.
Austin got it done.
Yeah, the Black King is outside of the square of the pawn.
But
you can't reach A8 anyway.
But Black had the advantage there. It seemed up to a certain point there. And it'd be interesting to see for Christian.
Actually, could the king reach A8?
So one game left. It is that game right there.
Okay, here we go. Black is in serious trouble here after King E6.
Yeah, you're not gonna stop the inevitable there.
Oh, this is a classic win here. So white plays pawn f7, black plays rook a8, white plays king e7, black plays b5, and white plays rook h5. Brilliant move. Rook h5 it prevents the black king from coming to the defense of the pawn. Once black pushes the pawn to b3, you play rook h3.
Look at that trickery.
The pawn, and it's a classic win.
Look at that trickery right here.
Okay, so this is the other possibility if queen rook e1 check. But now rook h5 wins in the same manner. This is really classic stuff here.
That's kind of funny because you're building the bridge, but not in the traditional. Oh,
rook h5 wins here. Probably rook h6 would win too. Oh no. Unbelievable. Oh no, it's still a win for white.
Yeah, still a win.
It's the same win. Yeah. Has to find rook h5. Just take the queen. Take the queen. It loses, but white still has to play after b5. Has to find rook h5. It's a hard move to find. It's not easy to see.
That's interesting.
He found it. Wow.
That's interesting technique. Yeah.
Wow. That is an expert's move. Yeah. For sure.
And that's something that I would have not intuitively thought of.
Now the rook can go to h3 and the pawn is lost.
And it seemed like white knew that all the way.
Yeah, white knew that all the way. And you can also do it this way as well. Nicely done. I got to give white kudos for knowing this.
Yeah.
It's a bit of esoteric knowledge. It shows some deeper understanding of endgames, which is, quite expert master level stuff.
And it's not something that intuitively I've seen, right, or was taught, but now it makes sense, right? It makes perfect sense. So Jeff Anderson looks like he's going to close this show and close the Thursday night marathon. Some technical games there at the end. And while this is going on, I want to remind everyone, tomorrow night we will broadcast a Scholastic Blitz tournament starting at 6:30 p.m. Judith Starre will be on with me and Allison Wong, who's a Scholastic player, strong. She's like 1900. She'll be joining us to provide commentary. And so we'll have that 6:30 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. And then Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific, we have a club match against the Edinburgh Chess Club, older than the Mechanics Institute. I think they're listed as the second oldest chess club in the world.
Scotland has and chess has some strong memories for me.
You know who else reached out that he was part of the Scottish chess scene. Was Guy Arco? He apparently went to college over there.
And we also have William Gray, who's strongly identifies himself as a Scot, I think. Well, I'm not sure about that, but he's definitely a Scot. And but I played chess in Scotland when I was a little kid.
Yeah, you're telling
when I
that
was
story.
12. So I'll try to tell some of those stories
You should
during the broadcast.
one of these newsletters too. That would be a good story. I think.
I have, Abel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching the Thursday night marathon round 2. Like I said, tomorrow night 6:30 we will have another broadcast with the Scholastic, and then on Saturday we will broadcast the club match. So until then, thank you for joining us, and come hang out with us tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, and see what the kids do. They're going to be the future players, the future masters, and you could say you watched them.
We looked at your game, Elliot. Elliot's saying that we definitely looked at your game. You were just 2 pawns up, and you ground the guy down, and we appreciate your skill.
And we would have looked at more of it if you had been there on time. So.
We watched it and we were like, wow, nice technique, Elliot, and then we just flipped the channel.
And I think we were also saying, man, what's taking Elliot so long to win this game?
Yeah, maybe your opponent was, well, you've got to be careful.
And we did ask about the pizza on the broadcast, so I'm glad it was good. It was worth it. So, all right, everyone, have a good evening. And we will